So very quickly, as I'm breaking down my tent, I wanted to point out this nice line in the sand where my tent is. That's the fly. It's all dry right underneath, dry and cozy. Dry and cozy in here. But the fog came in last night and everything outside, including my tent fly, is soaked. Day 13 of the Oregon Ghost Trail. I successfully did my first dispersed beach camping, which is exciting because there's so few places ever anywhere where you can disperse beach camp. Like sometimes there will be campgrounds on the beach or backcountry sites that are like numbered. Very few places where you can actually disperse camp, which is one of the things that makes the Oregon coast kind of awesome. This one was a little awkward though, because again, there's houses everywhere in this stretch. I picked an area above high tide, and it was above high tide. I checked it at high tide. I woke up around that time and it was fine. But I also tried to pick a place that didn't have one of the numerous private trails to the beach. And I accidentally picked one that was hidden, and I had a couple and their dog go right past my tent from their beach home last night. They looked at me, they didn't say anything, so hopefully it's okay, but I can imagine that's annoying. You pay all this money for a grand beach house and some dirty person camps right outside of it, but should be legal. As far as I can tell, should be legal. So, oh, another thing about beach camping is, I don't know if this will happen every night, but last night, everything was fine until high tide. High tide actually brought in moisture. Like, it brought moisture up the beach. And so once high tide hit, my tent got soaked. So that's why I had that line in front of my tent. Top layer of the sand was wet. My tent is soaked, but just the outside. The inside was nice and cozy. So that is strapped to my back right now to try and dry. Makes me look a little bit more homeless, but I would like that to dry before tonight. So that's what I'm going to say about beach camping. Is a long-winded review, but that's my first time dispersed beach camping. So now I'm headed towards the town of Yachats, finishing this beach stretch. It is very, very early. I wanted to get out early because I'm right next to that house, so I'm sure they take morning walks as well as evening walks. So headed on that final stretch. There's actually still lights on around the homes. And then this morning's going to be fun. This is a long intro. This morning's going to be fun because should be going to the Cape Perpetua area. Some of those really cool roadside rocky viewpoints. And then it's a 6-mile road walk to end the day. But I am going to end the day within a mile of the official halfway on the trail. So I'm going to say I'm done halfway at the end of the day today. It's exciting. All right, let's go. And this is the morning. Some of the lights are still on. Some of them have actually gone off. This, I think, is the Silver Surf Motel. But you can see this moisture kind of on the beach, and the closer I'm getting to the water level, the more I'm getting that kind of spitting fog. And the high tide just brought that straight up to my tent last night. Okay, so headed into town. As you can see, there's this nice walking trail along the cliffs here. It's going to take it to the southern end of town and then start going through town. Just stopped in the market in town to pick up some extra salty and sugary stuff. And I also picked up some Tillamook. That's one of the things I haven't been showing is how much Tillamook cheese I have been eating. Banana. Still haven't seen one that's super bright yellow. Even the yellow ones here are kind of like a yellowy green. Northern California, I know, has those really bright yellow ones. Harbor seal in the river before he goes down. Oh, he's just cruising. I'm on the bridge over whatever river this is out of Yachats. And the harbor seal just went down. He heard us talking about him. Just on the outskirts of Yachats. And there's a little trail here. And this, in maybe just under 3 miles, will take me to Cape Perpetua overlook. Getting some PNW forest action in again today. Alright, I've reached the highest point on this climb towards the Cape Perpetua lookout, and there's a sign to commemorate the elevation. 1,066 feet. The last series I did was Yosemite, which wasn't even that tall either, so that's just kind of funny. But going downhill towards the lookout, which I feel like most people will have driven to. Okay, at the path for the lookout for Cape Perpetua, however it's pronounced. Don't think I'm actually going to go do the detour to the lookout, just based on this that I'm seeing from the picnic table. So I'm just going to keep following the trail down. So there's Oregon Ghost Trail, headed back down over this headland. You can see it's just fog. So here's our overlook for today. Oh, that definitely doesn't make sense to do the detour. This beautiful little scene on this bridge I'm crossing next to the campground. Just made it down to the bottom of the switchbacks and heading out to the road, I guess. I should have read the trail a little bit better. The trail itself goes this way and doesn't actually go to Thor's Well. Thought about doing it as a side trip, but Spouting Horn, right next to Thor's Well, is 0.4. So that's almost a mile round trip. I had seen it already, and I don't really feel like doing a mile detour right now. Hopefully, maybe I'll be able to see it from this trail, which parallels the shoreline, but from the other side, the east side, I guess, of 101. And I'm okay with the trail actually. Oh, look, Oregon Coast Trail. I'm okay with the trail skipping that section and taking this instead, simply because it reduces the amount of road walk. Got about 1.5 miles of this trail, and then that long road walk starts. But if it started from the paths from Thor's Well, it would have been longer. So, gonna take the forest path and see if we can see it from there. If not, there's a lot of pictures of Thor's Well out there on the internet. And we do have an overview of Thor's Well. It's not being super impressive today, but you can see there's this water spout, and it comes up and then it gets sucked down like that. Somebody actually died here a couple days ago. They got too close to it and were sucked in. So really impressive, but something to watch from a bit away. Let's see if we can get another good one. There we go. That's a good one. All right. So even happier I did not take that mile detour. Alright, there's the OCT arrow telling me to go this way, and the start of that good old 6-mile road walk. So, there is a pedestrian bridge right here. After that, I will be putting on that vest. Crossing 10 Mile Creek, which means I'm about halfway done with my road walk. So I just realized that this 10 Mile Creek bridge has a pretty wide pedestrian area, and also the sun came up, so I'm taking a break and finally drying out my tent. I didn't think that would happen today, but it might actually be dry by the time I have to set up for camp tonight. Got a tiny pause in traffic, so I wanted to show just how pretty this is. I wish I could turn around and show the north as well. There's just these big headlands that kind of block the view. But getting to the end of my road walk, excited for that. There's been some turns where I've had to kind of hop back and forth to the different sides so I'm more visible. But looking forward to finally getting off this road. Oh, access point 89. You beautiful, beautiful sign. All right, heading back to the beach. I think I have maybe 1.5 miles of beach before I start heading in for the campground. And I'm excited because it's sunny on the beach now. What a difference between, well, I was gonna say this morning, but you know, most of the day. Oh, past 200 miles on the road there. I was too busy trying to live to take note of that. So past 200 miles, and then at my exit point for the state park is pretty much halfway, maybe short a couple tenths. One of the first times on trail, I might actually get a sunset, and my campsite is across the highway, of course. And I need to check in and set up and shower and stuff like that. So this is my exit, 92, and I've got to go through the parking lot, the dais area, across the highway, and that's where the campground is. Alright, we got a secluded spot. The lights over there are the showers and the bathrooms. Doesn't look like any widowmakers, so that's good. So ending day 13, this campground was a little different in that there is nobody at the pay station, so it was a self-register, which was kind of funny because there's no specific instructions for hiker-biker sites. So I just put hiker-biker. There's a hiker-biker check mark I could do. There's hiker-biker signs for hiker-biker sites. These are the hiker-biker sites. And I just put $10 in because that's what I've been paying at all the other campgrounds. So today is done. Tomorrow is the hashtag tunnel day, the infamous tunnel. I've set myself up to do it first thing in the morning when hopefully nobody is on US 101. It's a tunnel followed by a little bit of a scary stretch of US 101. So looking forward to knocking that out early if possible, and then gonna finish the day in Florence. Just have to watch out for tomorrow because I set myself up really good. I set myself up right next to it on a day when there's not going to be a lot of traffic. I've got extra visibility stuff, and it's supposed to rain tomorrow. We'll see if it's still supposed to rain because it really cleared up this afternoon. So fingers crossed I won't do this in the rain. Okay, that's tomorrow.